Peace and Black Power family. Welcome to another episode of Do Knowledge Radio, place where knowledge is born. This is your host, Knowledge Born a Lot, and this is for real. Okay, it's about to go down right now. This is really happening. We do have the Goddess Neith Knight about to give us the blackest truth in the world. Not the most comfortable truth, but indeed the blackest truth. We're about to get the blue magic of the blackest truth today. You understand what I'm saying? So without any further ado, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present to others. Her Majesty in the building, the Goddess Neith Knight, CEO of the Blackest Truth.
How
Peace
are
and
y'all
love to
doing?
you.
Thank you,
How
brother.
are
How
you?
you doing? How you doing, brother Allah?
Good. I'm good. Too blessed to be stressed, like the church folks say. You understand what I'm saying? Too blessed.
Right.
Um, so if we could start with an introduction and we could just go from there.
Yes, for sure. My name is the Goddess Neith Knight, and I have a YouTube channel known as The Blackest Truth and a Facebook platform, a website definitely on the way. And I teach about racism, white supremacy. It definitely is something that at the time that I was putting out video content where nobody ever knew I existed. It was something where I'm like, who's going to speak about this transparently? Like, who's really going to talk about the things that are happening right now and not water it down or not sanitize it? So it's something like you said, I'm the blackest truth, not the most comfortable truth. And I take racism, white supremacy, and I like to dissect it. And more times than not, I try to give us tangible solutions that we can take back and employ in our everyday lives to make it a little bit easier to deal and to really affect the issues that we go through.
Right. So, how did you get started on this particular journey? What was your entry point into this warrior fight that we see?
Yes, interestingly enough, I always was raised to be proud of my blackness. I was definitely, I had parents that I had a father in particular who didn't allow me to have white baby dolls. Any baby doll he was going to allow me to have, it had to be a black baby doll. He was someone who was very proud of his blackness. He adored the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He adored Malcolm X. So just kind of growing up with that influence around me and also living as a at the time black girl, then also a black teen, black young adult, it just kind of happened to where I started to see what was going on around me. But in particular, I was a biology major. I went to college for biology. And what ended up happening was after the Trayvon Martin case, when George Zimmerman was rendered not guilty, I kind of really didn't understand. I couldn't make sense of what had happened, and that really led me on a journey to understanding what was happening and what was going on and how the judicial system could let someone back on the streets. I ended up coming across Neely Fuller Jr., Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, probably when I was maybe about 22, 23. From there, it was a video in particular, maybe a series of videos. I can't really just pinpoint the exact date, but I remember Dr. Francis Cress Welsing was teaching about racism and teaching about the fear of genetic extinction. And she puts up this Punnett square. And as a biologist, I've seen this Punnett square a million times over. I'm like, wait a minute. Why is she putting up the Punnett square? Like Gregor Mendel is the first person that I thought. He was someone who taught us in as a scientist, like if you're going to go off to learn biology, you're going to learn about this geneticist by the name of Gregor Mendel, who worked with a pea plant. He worked with this green pea plant and this yellow pea plant, and you're always doing these X's and small X's or B's, and you're putting together these charts, these
Right.
pedigree charts. So when she had drew the Punnett square out and she explained the genetic extinction and the genetic dominancy, like everything just started to like pop. Everything just went off. I'm serious. I literally probably from that moment right there when I watched that video, I went from about age 12 up into that moment. Just everything I learned, every scientific experiment, it was all just like, wow, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Well, eventually I would become a junior in college. And at this point, I'm aware, I have knowledge of self. I'm just getting by to get my degree at this point. I know these folks is lying about the majority of what they say, but I'm just trying to get my degree and get up out of here, right? And a professor of mine ends up giving me a disease that he wants me to study, a cancer called Burkitt lymphoma. Well, I take a look at the cancer when I go home. He wants us to give a presentation, and essentially it's like a cancerized HIV. And I know HIV is a biological warfare weapon that was created by the US military. So if HIV is created for black people or Africans in America, then my connection was Burkitt lymphoma was the genetic biological warfare for Africans on the continent. And just like you can go to Zika virus and look in South America, everywhere you have black people, they have some type of biological, or everywhere you have some person with melanated hue, there's some form of genetic ploy. So when I go and I tell my class, they think I'm crazy. They think I'm crazy. And I'm just kind of like, that's to be expected. It's kind of extreme. People often say I look into things too much, but I make a video on Facebook. I keep making videos every week. I start talking about what is melanin, who are Europeans. Every week I'm just coming and putting out content. And next thing you know, out of nowhere, I get off of work one day and my videos have all like 500,000 views on there. And I'm just kind of like, wow, where did this happen? When did this happen? So that's just, and ever since then, I've just been continuously learning, continuously growing. Definitely want to go back to school. Definitely want to continue my pursuit of biology and contribute something. Dr. Frances Cress Welsing not only taught me something, but she gave us information that was groundbreaking to finally understand why racism existed. Not just know it existed, but why did it exist? That was pretty groundbreaking.
So, what kind of motivation in regards to, bringing this people? What kind of things did you wrestle with in regards to translating it? Look what you said to your class. These are your peer group immediately in the space of academia. Like, yo, you bugging. So, what was that effect like going back to your people? What are some of the things that you learned along that journey?
It's interesting. It's a two-part journey. I'm actually still learning. Oftentimes, like right now, I'm learning that you can be too black for black people. You can come off too strong. Like, although we know that we experience some type of treatment and we want better treatment, it's not like the treatment has to go away. Some of us are very satisfied with being mistreated. We just want to be mistreated less. So for someone like me to pursue racism, not sexism, not feminism, not discrimination, not nepotism, for me to address racism and not to speak on people of color, but black people, it can come off as a lot for some black folks. And I've noticed that I have to be willing to accept that I'm not for everybody. I'm not for some people who rather have a sanitized language, or individuals who do want to keep some type of connection between our diverse counterparts. My diversity is in the sense of learning about African Jamaicans and African Haitians and African Germans and African, Irish. That's my form of diversification, learning about all of the black people around the world and how they grew up and what their native language is. And then at the time, it just came down to, although we may not have been comfortable with having a conversation, so many people enjoyed the content, and I feel still enjoy the content. And although they may not share it or they may not tell me that they're watching it because it's still a necessity. it's still a conversation that needs to be had. So that's why at this point, I don't do too much bugging about it, because it's like, whether you want to call it white supremacy, whether you want to call it racism, whether you want to acknowledge that it exists, whether you want to call it every ism that to describe ism favoritism outside of it, what if you, regardless if you just want to call it some type of supremacy, if you want to call it mistreatment, it exists, it is there. And eventually you're going to come right back onto this channel, click on a video, and learn some more about it. Like, that's how I look at it. Eventually you're going to go full circle, and you're going to come back and try to figure out, okay, what is this girl talking about? Because she make a little sense, you know?
So what have been, some of your experiences thus far with people who do get it? How is it received? How have you seen some of these things that you have shared with people help improve their quality of life and their ability to circumnavigate through this particular family system?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked that question. It's two things. Sometimes when I see people who already have the knowledge, who already have the information, they have the information, but they don't know how to allow the information to transform their life. So they get stuck with just knowing it and it never changing anything. And then on another end, I see people who take the knowledge and it totally transforms their environment. And if they have a sincerity of heart, then they can go off and really wake other people up very effectively, quote unquote. They can really go off and encourage other people to come into having knowledge of self. And I want to be, of course, the latter, the person that I said really has a way of bringing people in. And the person who has knowledge of self that I see, that the information doesn't really translocate to other people, they're often unorganized. They're often not in a position within their lives to be able to sponsor anybody. Sometimes they might be without a vehicle. Sometimes they might be without income. Like, they have this knowledge, but their life circumstance doesn't permit them to even, bring someone into their home and possibly feed them and clothe them and, provide shelter for them to even learn. So, and I think that people get stuck here with having all of this knowledge and having every single book, but it's like when you look in their life, they struggling. So you made a comment before we got on. You was like, I'm looking at this queen and, she's like a real boss. She's like, she be doing some boss stuff. And the reason why I don't like to get it misinterpreted, or I don't want anybody to create this idea of, now that we have knowledge of self, the only thing we have to do is take in all of this information, adopt this higher consciousness, align all of our chakras, and everything is going to be okay. No, you need to work. No, you need to understand that this system cannot be destroyed without you having some capital in your pocket. So you got to come up with ways to really use what you already possess in order to build up that. You have to create that legacy. Ain't nobody doing nothing for you, really. And I'm not misinterpreted on that. I understand white supremacy so well. I know that these folks ain't helping me. So, the people that have managed to figure out a way to take the knowledge, to use it to transform their lives and do well with bringing other people along, oftentimes they have empathy, they have understanding, they have maturity. They don't require other people to be where they're at. They don't have a lot of ego. And even if they do deal with ego, if they do, or if that do comes up, because everybody's human, they have ways to put it to the side. They do well at, like, okay, I'm tripping. Let me move forward. Let me see the bigger picture. So I see both of these folks. I see both of these individuals, but a lot of it comes down to organization. Like when you mentioned, that's what college does. College, the military, it teaches you organization. So many Black people, so many of us have the knowledge, but we're unorganized. we don't know how to put it in a format to where it works, and it works as a unit to produce results.
So now I saw one of your set abilities to present an opportunity for people to transform their lives. You know, you have some courses, things like that. Can we go into that? I definitely want to hear, you know, your reasoning behind, but also like some of the courses and some of the programs you offer, and some of the predicted outcomes, or goals that you may have for the courses.
Yes, thank you for asking. Yes, currently I'm offering two courses. The next one will be Monday, March the 16th, 2020. That will be Quit Your Job in 730 Days. This course in particular, I am passionate about, and I even wanted to start because I was someone who went through mistreatment, being underappreciated, underpaid, and it got to a point where I had to make a decision like, if I don't get up off of this plantation, this is what I'm going to be subjected to every day. Like my supervisors knew what got up under my skin. They knew what frustrated me. I wasn't in a position to leave. If I left, I wouldn't have had income. If I wanted to retaliate, I would be written up, and I just got really frustrated. And what ended up happening was I would be talking to my siblings, I'd be talking to girlfriends and homeboys, and everybody has a similar story. Everyone kept telling me about, BS that they might be dealing with at this job, or being investigated for this, or, being laid off for this. And I'm just looking around like, wow, like we're all frustrated with our work. And it just got to a point where I was like, well, entrepreneurship is the way to go. Anybody who is frustrated with their job has to become an entrepreneur. But then what ended up happening was I quit my job once, and it worked out very well. And I was loving what I was doing, and Hurricane Harvey hit. And that, being in Texas, just flipped everything upside down. And then having to go back to school because I was trying to finish up the last 2 semesters, I went back to work. But this time when I went to work with an objective. I knew, I don't care what y'all do. I don't care what y'all say. I don't care what type of treatment I'm getting at this job. Your girl is out of here in 2 years. Your girl is dipping. So what ended up happening was I got my degree May 2019. And by June 2019, I was out of there again. And just transitioning, being able to do what I want with my time, being able to invest in my channel, the time, the quality. People have been saying, wow, you're doing this and you're doing that and you're doing that. That's because I have this full-time work. I have this full-time ability. And then I think lastly, the reason why I was passionate about the course is because I think Black people are the answer to our own problems. But because we have jobs, we don't have the time to build the schools that we want. So many of us have so many great ideas. We want to be the next person to create a water product that filters out water. We want to create something that would be like our own vehicle. We want to have our own network where we can buy only our clothing. Like, we have really, really amazing ideas. But the reason why those ideas can never get fed is because we're continuously going to work, and after you get off work, you sit in traffic, you get home, you shower, you eat, you tired. So I was like, how can I put this in a package to where I not only transition Black people out of the day-to-day riffraff of being underappreciated, overworked, underpaid, and not creating their own legacy and getting them on their journey to becoming their best self, living in your purpose. Many of us, if we were honest, we would say, this is not how we saw our life going. Like, yo, I didn't see this for myself at 15. I didn't see this for myself at 20. So to be here is a problem. And that's where I put the course. So I actually just taught the second one 2 days ago, and that went really well. I'm working on continuously improving it, being able to get visuals, being able to teach people hands-on lessons. You're learning what you're going to do in each time block I give you. Each time block, you got to complete objectives. And the objectives is so by the time you quit your job, you're not starting the business. By the time you quit your job, you're walking into the business already with clientele, already with networks, already with websites, Facebooks, Instagrams. If you're going to start a TikTok, depending on what you're doing, I'm talking about what system you need to put in place within those 2 years in the midst of you working. So by the time you get, that's what I call it. I said in the course, day 730 is day you quit, but the day after 730 is day one that you're working for self. And on day one, you got to already have your schedule in place. You got to already have how much money you got to make every single day in order to make your monthly goal, in order to get your cushion and pay your next set of bills. Like, we're going through all of that within the course. Okay. So it's a lot. It's a lot. I just tell everybody, bring your pen and pad. That course is $297. It is a 2-hour live course, or there are 3 payments of $99, whichever is more comfortable for you. You can replay the course. And then the second one that I was telling you about, brother, is the Go Viral course, which a lot of people have started YouTube channels or want to start YouTube channels. I'm putting together everything. What is viral content? What is the algorithms? What does it look like? How to get your point across, how to come off more smoothly, how to speak to your audience, how to know who your audience is. It was just a really good time. The very first course, the very first time we did the Go Viral, a lot of people learned some good stuff, some good tidbits, and I'm excited. The next one will be Wednesday, March the 18th. And like I said, I'm excited to do that course and have more people in there and really trying to build those influencers and have people go viral for 2020, because it's very possible.
I love it. I do. I love the visionary that you are to be able to see something. Um, like I said, I have a military background. I was in the military for about 17 years, and I was on both sides of the battlefield in regards to my job. I started off in the combat arms, and then I went to the logistics side, and it was a blessing because my ancestors showed me the landscape of the battlefield and how everything gets done. You know, the mission of the logistician is to solve a problem. You see what I'm saying? The mission of an entrepreneur is to gauge a situation, see a need, and solve a problem. You see what I'm saying? So you saw a need to get the collective minds, the few of them that exist that are out here righteously. You understand?
Right,
And
right.
move them closer in a direction towards their purpose. You see what I'm saying? So you've implemented a program with a purpose of empowerment. You know, there's a lot of people that are out here and they're just out here. You see what I'm saying? And you vocalize it. You said stuck. We're stuck. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And we think that there is a conflict in regards to making it and staying us. You understand what I'm saying? Because the only models that we see out here are those who make it, and they're not us anymore. You see what I'm saying? And you're looking in the wrong place for that inspiration. If you're in the entertainment industry looking for that kind of motivation, you're in the wrong place. You see what I'm saying? So, understand how these things are weaponized against us. As family businesses, they are family businesses.
Mhm.
They operate systematically, but they're family businesses. Families institute systems. You see what I'm saying? So you
Mhm.
know that like this is a part of their culture. This is their way of life. They don't have to act any kind of way. They don't need any excuses to be who they are. They are who they are. You see what I'm saying? So with
Mhm.
that renewed thing, who are you? you know, Diametrically opposed to them. Who are you? Where is your program? What's your purpose? You see what I'm saying? So for me, where's your African centered program? What's your African centered purpose?
Right,
Where's your
right,
Black liberation
right.
program? What's your Black liberation purpose? I need to see that. You understand? And if you don't have that, we can build with that collectively. And this is our mission statement. This is our goal. This is our execution. You see what I'm saying? So,
Mhm.
and what that is virtually is a proper propaganda tool in a way that's most effective. And you added the other part of it, you know, transitioning smoothly and properly packaged. You see what I'm saying? So,
Right.
we go to things that they say, oh, y'all go get stuff that look nice. Yes, we do. We go get stuff that looks nice. So
Mhm.
it needs to look nice to be an attractor. Now, what else is there, in that process? Like, so we really look at ourselves sometimes very, very contrary to who we are. We like nice things. We are a people that like nice things. You see what I'm saying? Oh,
Mhm.
y'all stand in line for them Jordans and blah blah blah. Look, if you're not dealing with the psychosis of the mind, don't talk about the after effects.
Right,
You see what I'm saying? If you're
right,
not dealing with the psychosis of a situation that would have somebody spending 1 or 2 days in line at a place, don't open your mouth. You know what I mean? You don't open your mouth. We got enough people saying, huh, he's,
right,
we got enough of that. So
right. I
let's
love that.
move
I love that.
this space into something. You see what I'm saying? Uh, I love our people. You know,
Mm,
not all of them, but
right,
most. You know what I'm saying? Most of them, I love them. You see what I'm saying? Those who have not identified themselves as an enemy. You understand?
right.
So
And
yeah.
brother, essentially, I kind of want to brand it and grow to the place where you just said something so crucial. You said if you're not trying to deal with the psychosis of the mind, so why the person was staying in line for a day or 2 days, then don't talk to me. I love that. Like, because as a biologist, as a scientist, we always know that a symptom or something that's happening to you is only your body trying to let you know something is going on deeper. So, the reason, the direction that I want to go with the course is getting people to see maybe you already work in psychology or maybe you're getting a degree in psychology. Transition out of working for someone else, work for us with an objective, with the purpose. Why would we sit in line for 2 days? Why would we continuously listen to music that we know is killing us and that we know is teaching Black men to go to prison? Why do we do this? Why can't we control our behavior? I think if more of us were had the mindset of where I want to not only be able to bring in income for myself, but I want it to effectively be transforming my community, we actually would have a lot of our answers. We would be getting understanding. And I think that's the direction that I want to go. I'm so serious.
I definitely love it. I definitely love it, and I know if there's a will, that's the way. You will find that way. You
I
understand? Like,
check.
you qualified to find that way.
I
You are
check.
definitely qualified. I see, a lot of collaboration with you as well. Can you talk about how those things go about, and if people are looking to collaborate with you, what are some of your qualifications for someone to collaborate with you? And so folks need to know that there's a list of qualifications. If you do not qualify, you need not to apply. You understand what I'm saying? So
You petty, but I love it. I love it. You say you need to be qualified. Okay, brother. I'm glad you said that because you are right. First of all, I am a Pan Africanist. Just like I love that. I love that red, black, and green in your logo, and I love that those colors are in order because even on my logo, you will see the red and you will see the black and you'll see the green and it'll be in order. So I definitely love working with people that identify as African, even if we don't necessarily want to call ourselves that or have the unity of Black people in mind. I am never about gossip. I rarely love to debate. I often don't. You won't see me putting out a lot of content talking about someone or pointing fingers at other Black people that I just disagree with. Now, if we're going to talk about Oprah and Gayle King and how they're being used instrumentally as tools to destroy Black people as Black women, I try to have conversations that would be constructive to the unification of Black people, and I want to work with people that have the constructive agenda and goals to help us. I love to work with people who love to unify. If I love to go on your page and you're always pointing out the similarities in Black people. You are traveling the country, maybe you're traveling the globe and you're trying to connect us. Maybe you're teaching a language and creating maybe like a bridge between us and serving as a liaison. I look for unity more than anything. I look for unity. No dissension, no arguing, no beefing. It's not really my thing. It's not really my thing. my thing.
Right? I'm concerned with the handlers. I am not concerned with the misrepresentation of black women and how our black women are being misrepresented and misused. You understand what I'm saying? I'm concerned with their handlers. I'm concerned with who sent you. You
Mhm.
understand what I'm saying? Like, they say don't shoot the messenger. Yeah, no, I'm not interested in that. I'm interested in your handlers. Like, who put you up to this? Who is
Right.
financing this? You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I'm very very strategic about that, so I don't get caught up. One, I don't do a lot of the current events because it's brilliant people out here who can do it. And they have the way to do it.
Mhm.
I'm a society has people in different roles for a reason. I'm African centered. I honor our ancestors. I honor our elders. I honor our peer group, and I honor our youth. Look at that range
Mhm.
from the unseen to the seen in the future. I can't. I don't have time for everything else. I can't do it. I don't know about it. I don't want to. I can't put my focus there. There are brilliant people I can refer you to and say, hey, check this sister out, check this brother out. Check this youth out. They got this stuff going on. I can be a bridge in that regard,
Mhm.
but I can't spend no time. I'm not going to argue with anybody.
Right.
Um, to me, it's all history. By the time we hear about it, it's past tense.
Right.
Nature provides that. It takes the sun 8.5 minutes to reach the earth. So by the time you feel the sunlight, you felt it what it was 8.5 minutes ago. So that's already a history lesson. You see what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
I deal with that, from that perspective in regards to our people. Like I need to know our history, our journey, our story. This is
Right.
why you here today. Like I see this amazing sister out here, hardcore, hard body, unapologetic. I'm like, yes. You understand? Let me celebrate our sister. Like, how do I get a hold of the sister? I'm like, sister, I need to speak with you. You understand what I'm saying? I'm like,
Right.
let me figure this out. You see what I'm saying? I'm like, let's do this. You see what I'm saying? Because our goals are the same. And then when I look back, I was like, yeah, we go back
Mhm.
for years. You see what I'm saying? So that's always a beautiful thing, to be able to celebrate and
Right.
collaborate with those you ain't got to explain. Like, hey, my cousin, he be drinking too much Cisco, and after you drink that Cisco, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I have to call my sign for 'em. Don't even worry about it. I need people
yeah,
where
man,
I
excuse
need
me.
people where they at.
No, I honor what you do and the services that you provide, um, on a multitude of levels. So I just wanted to take a moment to thank you and salute you and to let you know, like, there are real ones that are out here. You know, we're not as vocal, and we should be more vocal about whom we support. You understand? Not necessarily our plans and shit, but
Mhm.
who we support and why we support. So,
Mhm.
um, definitely with that.
Thank you,
So,
brother.
is there anything else that you can share with us about some of the things that you have upcoming, um, for your broadcasts or your courses or anything like that?
Yes, definitely just be on the lookout. Again, thank you, brother, for having me on the show. Be on the lookout for the blackesttruth.com. It's something in the works. I'll definitely guarantee my followers once I hit 10,000, I would produce them a website. So I want to hold myself accountable to that. I really appreciate the people that follow. If anything, I just ask y'all for your good energy to continuously lift me up and hope that I would be able to speak on the issues that we're all seeing and going around transparently to capture the minds of those of us who know something's not right. I just want to continuously be put in places and around people that would allow my message to go forth and that would really listen to me. It's kind of difficult when somebody look at the way you look and it's just kind of like they so focused on the way you look, nobody's listening to what you say. So I just continuously am looking for opportunities to be heard and a message to really permeate those that it's supposed to, because that's what we need. We need Black people continuously waking up waking up, recognizing and tapping in, waking up and tapping in and tapping in, and finally just being able to get to a point where we say, we in this thing together and let's work. So follow the Blackest Truth. For inquiries, if you want to work with me, like I said, I list out my prerequisites. We always about unity. Divide and conquer is a direct giveaway that you've been sent from the European. That's how I know that the European sent you. So if not, email the Blackest Truth TBC at gmail.com. And I look forward to seeing y'all there. And I look forward to working with you again, brother.
So y'all got the Blackest Truth. I told y'all was gonna get a dose of that blue magic. Okay, this ain't the stepped on one. You understand? This is one that's not stepped on. This is that blue magic, Blackest Truth, from a real warrior who loves our people first and only. You understand? So I think that's a beautiful thing. They still exist. I ain't the only one out here. You understand? And you know, the warriors I run with. uh, so yeah, thank you. Did you have any closing remarks, any acknowledgments, any shout outs, any of that for the family before we close out?
Unify, die.
That's it. That is it. Thank you, Goddess Neith Knight, for coming through and making my day 1,000 times more brighter and more apt to motivate to celebrate our people and continue on the work.
No problem, brother. The universe has room and it is making room for you.
All right. Peace and love, y'all. Peace and love.